Alright all, like our suggestion, in today's video I'm going to show you how to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi motherboard. I'm going to show you the simple way, which is just by turning on your XMP profile. But what do you do if you don't have XMP available to you, or it ain't stable with the XMP settings? I want to also show you how to fix that by showing you how to manually overclock it if your RAM is not compatible with your motherboard. Let me roll the footage here and I'll show you how to get this done. Alright guys, here we are on the desktop, and of course we got to get into the BIOS, so you're going to go down here to your little Windows button, left click, go to your power, go up to restart, start tapping your delete key on your keyboard, that way you can get into your BIOS. Alright guys, this is the screen that will show up when you first get in your BIOS. One way to get into your XMP profile would be through your easy mode. Come down here, drop down, it says easy mode, click on it, right here. It says DRAM status. It says 3214.72 megahertz, 8 gigs and 8 gigs, because I do have dual channel on it. It says XMP is disabled. Click on that, turns on your XMP profile. Nice, simple, easy. Okay, then you go up here, save and exit. Are you sure you want to save and exit? You hit yes, and it should boot back into your desktop. Alright guys, and if you don't want to go into your easy mode down here, when you first get into this screen, go here to advanced memory settings. Double click on that. Up here at the top it says extreme memory profile XMP. It says disabled. You want to take it, double click on that, go down to profile 1, double click on that, and then you'll see here everything has changed. It's changed the speed up to 3600 megahertz. Your legacies is 18, 22, 22, 42, 64, and it's at 13.5 volts. Alright guys, once you hit that, it turns it in. It shows you what your numbers are turned to. Go down through here and everything is going to change just the way they adjusted it. Okay, you go up here and you hit save and exit. And you go over here and hit save and exit. And it says save configuration and restart. You hit yes. You let it do a thing and should boot right back up into Windows as long as it's a stable overclock with XMP turned on. There we go, we are back into Windows. If you want to see what your RAM's running at, click on your board at the bottom. Go up to Task Manager, open it up. Pull over in the middle of the screen for you here. Go to Performance up here, tab. Go down here, find your memory, which is right here. And you can see right here it is running at 3600 megahertz. Okay, but now what do you do if your XMP ain't stable? You've run a stress test on it, it keeps crashing, or you get blue screens of death or something like that. Well, you're going to have to go in and manually overclock it. So I'm going to show you how to get that done. You go back in your BIOS. Now guys, and to manually overclock it, if your XMP ain't stable, if you're running into a lot of black screens or something like that, or you're running into a lot of blue screens or your crashes or whatnot, you need to manually overclock it. You're going to go into advanced memory settings, double click it. You need to leave XMP profile disabled. Come down here where it says auto, double click on it. We'll go with 32 because this is a 3600 megahertz kit. And if it's not stable, we need to cut it back some. So we'll type in 32 and hit enter. And you'll change it right there to 32.00, which will give you 3200 megahertz. Next is your DRAM voltage. You'll have to take it from auto, put it down to manual. Okay. It still says 1.2. You click in here all you want and you can't change it. Go back into MIT, go down to advanced voltage settings. And right here it says DRAM voltage, channel A and B. It says auto, it's at 1.2. Right there where it says auto, you double click on it. Type in 1.35 and hit enter. And it'll throw up a 0V on the end of it. Alright, you go back to MTI. You go into advanced memory settings. There we go. And for this next port, I usually start out where XMP sets everything because that's what it should be running at. But if your XMP ain't working, you have to go in and manually put it. So we're going to go into this cast legacy where it says auto. We're going to put 18. We're gonna drop down one. We're gonna put 22, hit enter. Okay, the next one down. We're gonna go with 22 and hit enter. Next one down needs to be 22 and hit enter. Next one down there, we need to go with 42 and hit enter. This one here, we will go with 64 and hit enter. Next one down, we're gonna go with 28 and hit enter. Once you get down beyond that TWR, I normally just leave mine where they're at, let them adjust it themselves. So let's go ahead and hit save and exit. Hit save and exit setup. And we'll see if we can boot into Windows. And it did boot into Windows. Let's see what our RAM's running at here. Task Manager, Performance, Memory, and it is running at 3200 megahertz. Now, if you're like me and you want to start out mainly overclocking your RAM or turn it back down the timing on your XMP profile, you can also do it that way. Let's get back into the BIOS and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. And if your XMP ain't stable and you want to use my technique by typing in what XMP gives you, there's an easy way to do that. You go into Advanced Memory Settings, up here at the top, where it says Disable. Like last time I showed you to leave that disabled. You double click on that and you load Profile 1, okay? And it shows you everything has changed, and all these down through here are changed the way that XMP says they should be changed. It still says auto at 3600 megahertz. You double click on this auto, okay, and say 3600 ain't stable for you, you can just click in 32 and hit enter, and it'll change it down to 3200 megahertz. But if you noticed, everything has stayed the same. It's still 1.3 volts, still got 18, 22, 22, 22, 42, 64, and 28. So by doing this, it did keep all the XMP profile numbers put in. The only thing you did was go in and downclock the RAM speed a little bit. So let's save it next to here and get back into Windows and see if it's still setting at 3200 megahertz. Alright guys, here we are back on the desktop. Go down here and open up Task Manager. Left click on your board, go up to Task Manager. Go to Performance. You look at your RAM, it's already highlighted because we done looked at it. And it is running at 3200 megahertz. So that is the 3 different ways that you can actually overclock your RAM. Let me get reset up here and I'll come up with the conclusion to the video. And alright all, that's the way you get your RAM overclocked on this motherboard. Like I showed you in the video, the simplest way is just go in and enable your XMP profile. If your RAM is compatible with your motherboard, it should work just like that. If it don't work and you start crashing and it starts getting blue screens and all that good happy stuff, I'd go with setting your XMP profile and just go back in. Once you put in your XMP profile and turn back that speed a little bit and leave the rest of the settings alone. But I did show you the other way to where if you want to, you can go in and mess with the timings and all that if you'd like to. And after you get your overclock dialed in, you want to definitely make sure it's stable by running a stress test on it. Something like MemTest 86, or if you've seen any of my other videos, I use Prime 95. That does stress test the CPU and the RAM both at the same time. So either one of the programs ran at a decent length of time will test that stability for you and make sure it's stable for you. If you like this kind of content, go down and give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. There's also a comment section below. I go through them every Saturday morning here, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my live stream. If you really like this kind of content, maybe hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, where you're notified next time I have a video or go live here on YouTube. And if you're interested, there is links in the description below for Instagram or Twitter. I don't carry your inbox, but I do put up photos of new stuff I have coming in to give you an idea of what's coming up on the channel. If I got cancer or change the time of my live stream, that's where you also get that information from. With all that being said, you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.